Hey there, this is Merles Gonde from Rainier, Washington, and I haven't talked to you in a little while, and that is exactly why I want to shoot this video. I wanted to shoot this video and share with you why. Today you will hear part of my story that I hope it can impact your story positively, of course. So, let me just go ahead and share with you why haven't I talked to you lately. You see, I haven't been feeling completely all right with myself, as if I was being dishonest and not absolutely truthful with you all. And the reason why is because I haven't shared an important part of my life that, yes, it is private for me, but by not doing so, I have been feeling that I could be robbing hope from some people. What if there is somebody out there that needs to hear me? You see, about maybe a year ago, we were having this mastermind, this training with one of my mentors, Ray Higdon, and he said that by not sharing our story, because we are so caught up in what would people think about us, and or I'm so shy, or things along those lines, we're being selfish. By not sharing our story, we are being selfish. And yes, I was able to understand it at the time, but I was not able to comprehend the profound meaning that it really had. So, in order for you to understand, I want to move backwards in time and then forward, so you can have a better understanding that what is it that I want to share with you. So let me start. I made some notes because that way I won't forget. Last year, my coach, he advised me to attend a personal development seminar with Tony Robbins called Unleash the Power Within, aka UPW. And the reason why we hire coaches is because we want to be better, we want to do better, we want to achieve goals and so forth, right? So, of course, I immediately did that. And that was around probably September of last year. So, September or October of last year. Now, I want to say, yeah, September or October of 2014. Just a couple of months later, I went to a regular checkup with the doctor, and in November of 2014, they decided to run some extra tests, and then I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. And I'm going to repeat that because most people haven't heard of that Hashimoto's disease. What that is an autoimmune disease, and if you don't know what autoimmune means, it's basically your immune system going a little bit crazy, and it's like being confused, and it attacks part of your own body. In this case, Hashimoto's could attack the thyroid. However, I was feeling fantastic. It was just a regular checkup. So when I was given that diagnosed, I was naturally in complete shock. How could I be having a disease when I am feeling completely all right? How can you process a doctor telling you, oh, by the way, your body is killing you and it's going to win? That is something really harsh to say. What a way to rob hope, right? So, needless to say, I was in shock. I took time to that took time for me to be processed. However, I don't want to go up into many details, or this could take forever. Fast forward. Oh, by the way, when I booked that UPW event, that was going to happen in March 5th of 2015. However, However, my husband and I booked it together. We wanted to go together, but at the time he had a project coming on suddenly, so he needed to go to Korea. So long story short, he still wanted to attend that event with me. We work as a team. We always have, and he's just awesome. So I decided to talk to my Tony Robbins team specialist, and we moved that event from March to July 16th. Now, why I'm giving you all these details and dates, because it is important. You see, at the time when I was given that diagnosed, I was in shock. And when you feel that way, and if you have experienced something like that, you start wondering, why is this happening? Even though I know everything is for a greater good, sometimes at the time you are not able to see, right? So we decided to move that. So fast forward May 12th, we were given the news that my mother-in-law, my husband's mom, she had suffered a brain stroke. So we had to travel to Venezuela. I was traveling on May 19th. I only had time, he was already there. I only had time to make some arrangements for my house to be taken care of, for my puppy to be taken care of, attend the company event, and then fly to Venezuela. When I arrived there, I had a massive inflammation in both my arms, and I barely could manipulate knife and fork to eat, and I was in pain. My arms were really inflamed. They looked like huge sausages. It was really, really odd. So I had to go to the doctor, and by the end of May, probably May 26th or 27th, I was given another diagnosed. When I received all the tests before walking, because the system there is a little bit different, I received the test from the lab, and I take those tests to the doctor. Before walking into his office, I knew there was something wrong. I already knew that when you're diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, it is very possible you can develop another one. And I already knew this was not good. So I walked into his office, and he confirmed a diagnosis of a very rare autoimmune disease called polymyositis. Now, if you go Google that, you will see that it is so rare that 1 in 100,000 people maybe are diagnosed with that. That is how rare is it. And barely people have ever heard of that. So basically he said that I needed to take some drugs that he was going to prescribe me, and the secondary effects were going to be obesity, high blood pressure, possibly diabetes, depression, and of course more. That I couldn't work out, that I couldn't do this, that I couldn't have a family, that I couldn't have babies. Not because I physically couldn't, but because what was going on with my body. So at that moment, I was not in shock. I was in rage. If you haven't ever faced or talked to somebody who is a dream stealer, at that moment, I was facing the ultimate dream stealer of all times, I guess. He was telling me that I had to give up everything I love, and that I couldn't fulfill my dreams in life. And that, oh, by the way, I needed to take drugs because my body was self-destructing and I had to. If you know me a little bit, you know I never take no for an answer. And though I respected him and I said, I accept your diagnosis, I do not accept your prognosis. So that was happening towards the end of May. I came back to Venezuela to from Venezuela to the States towards the middle of June. So between that time, I was tested several times. When I arrived here to the States, I naturally saw my doctor, and she was surprised to see that I was perfectly fine. So she then told me that probably what happened to me is that I developed a viral myositis. Probably because of a virus, maybe I caught a cold or a flu at some point, and that could have caused that. So now the diagnosis was different, but still myositis. So in between those dates, I was tested 4 times. 2 of those times tests came back wrong. 2 of those times they came back fine. So in long story short, my doctor here in the States said, if you continue with symptoms, then you will have to see a rheumatologist. I already knew what that meant because I already heard the doctor from Venezuela, and I study a lot. I read a lot, and I was not going to allow that diagnosis to take over my life. So then I had to attend a company event, and it was in excruciating pain, sometimes physical pain in my arms. And right after that, then the UPW came, and that was July 16th, from July 16th to July 19th, and I can't tell you how that changed my life. I had no clue what I was going to experience because my coach never told me, because I asked him not to. I didn't know that I was going to do firewalking, and I was pretty shocked. I thought I'm not gonna be able to walk on 1,200 degrees hot coals. But you know what? As afraid as I was, I said, you know what? What do I have to lose? And I'm gonna share with you what I thought, because at the time I did shoot a video and I posted online, and lots of people saw it and they were excited that I had walked on fire, but they had no idea what was going on with me. I thought to myself, if I am able to develop that mindset and really walk on fire and not burn my feet, that is a way to prove to myself that I can heal myself, that I can overcome this. From the research that I had done, I've only found just so little information about people healing, just a little tiny bit, but that was enough for me. There was some hope. And now you can see why I had been feeling, if I don't share this, I'm robbing people from hope, right? So being there at the UPW, I was not only able to walk on fire, and when I did that, I cried, but I cried out of joy, because I knew at that point, I knew with every fiber of my being that I was able to overcome that thing. Whatever it was, I was able to do it. But not only that, a couple of days later, or the next day, we went through a process called the Deacon's process, and I can't tell you everything that it entails. You need to do that with Tony. He will guide you, as well as the firewalking. But during that process, I understood that if I didn't choose to change my life, to take the bull by the horns and just win this battle, win this. In 20 years from now, there was nothing. There was nothing for me. I was not even going to be here. So from that date, July 19th, until now, I had become a completely person. In just 5 months, I had been applying a lot of changes to myself so I can heal myself. I have barely shared with some people that I have gone with a traditional doctor because, with a non-traditional medicine who works with traditional Chinese medicine because Western medicine says there is no cure for myositis. But alternative medicine in non-traditional way says differently. Says you can heal yourself, and that's exactly what I had been doing. So in this period of 4 months, little by little, every single day, there is a step closer to absolute and perfect health. Yes, there are days that I am in pain, that you don't notice that because I don't say it, but I feel it. And there are days that now I don't even realize, which is amazing. During this 4 month process, being each and every single day closer to be the best version of me, even better than I ever was before, health wise. I've also developed this appreciation for those little things. And I've been living in a state of gratitude almost every single day because being able to brush your hair painlessly is a blessing. Being able to dance, which is something that I absolutely love and I had not done because of the myositis, is extraordinary. Being able to hug someone or be hugged and not feel pain is a true blessing. Being able to drive from your home to the corner or to the city to see somebody or to go to a meeting is something that we take for granted. But I don't take it for granted anymore. You see, I have now this appreciation for those little things. And I realized I had not only been taking that for granted, but so many other things in my life. And I started realizing how all these things were connected and what the silver lining in all this is. Because had this not been happening, I was never probably ever going to feel so grateful for so many things in my life that I was taking for granted. And though I'm not yet completely healed, I know I'm headed that way, that every single day my doctor sees me, he says, you are better this time, you're better this time, you're doing better. And it's like those little battles that you are winning, that I am winning. What does this have to do with network marketing or with building a business or with anything? It has everything to do. Because if there is somebody out there, at least one person that watches this video that maybe has the same condition or maybe any other autoimmune disease or anything going on in their lives that make them feel limited, the same way that I was feeling in the past, not long ago, just a few months back. And that feeling sometimes catches on with me because I want to do stuff and it hurts. Sometimes it hurts. I want to tell them that there is hope. That there is hope for you. There are ways through which you can be healed. There are ways through you can achieve anything you want in your life if you put your mind aligned with your desire and you work towards that. I knew that intellectually, but until I experienced it, walking on hot coals and not being burned, I understood the power that we have as human beings within us. We are these divine beings made out of this same stuff, the same stuff as God. So we have the ability to tap into that greatness and be more and overcome anything. So how could I not share this with you? That's why I was feeling selfish. That's why I felt it was robbing somebody. Maybe one person, maybe thousands or hundreds, I don't know, of the blessing that there is hope for them. You see, when I was given this diagnosis, I started looking online, but because myositis is so rare, I barely could find anything. But because I kept looking and I kept asking, I found as little as 2 people who healed themselves of that condition through food and through different types of alternative medicine. And I also find out that a friend of mine healed herself from fibromyalgia and chronic pain disease. But that's because I asked and I researched that. And it's not that much. But what if? What if there are more people out there who are caught up into thinking, what would they think about me if I share? So you see, I didn't want to be selfish anymore. I needed to share this with you and invite you. If you're going through any ordeal in your life, I want to invite you to allow yourself to feel hope, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a reason why you are given this. You see, the worst day of my life, I know it's turning to be in the best day of my life, because now I count every single blessing, every single day. And from now on, everything in my life is filled with wonder. I don't take for granted anymore anything. And shouldn't you take it for granted either. So that is what I wanted to share with you about myself. It is a private thing, but I wanted to open up myself to you so I could share that message and give you hope that anything in your life can be achieved if you put your mind and your heart into it. And despite this, I have been building my business and I have been winning. So can you. So can you. If you are in this industry or in any other industry, or if you have any dream, you can achieve it. You have the ability to do it. You have the greatness within you to overcome anything. I believe in you and I am grateful for you. And I am looking forward to hear your thoughts. And by the way, I am not sharing this at all to have sympathy or anything along those lines. My purpose is to give you hope, because now I am headed towards great health. I feel it. And as I'm headed towards that, I'm also reaping so many successes in my life. So I know anything is possible. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that as well. So it's been, as always, a pleasure talking to you. I know this has been a little bit longer than usual, a lot longer than usual, but I needed to put it out there. So from now on, expect again more from me. And I'm looking forward to talk to you again pretty soon. Please feel free to connect with me through my Facebook, through my Instagram and subscribe to my blog if you want to keep receiving absolutely awesome information. Go to merliscondit.com. I appreciate you so much and have a great day. Bye bye.